In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the steering rack bellow boots on this BMW 328i. Let's get into it. We're going to remove the wheel, use a 17mm socket, take the lug bolts out. Once I get to the last one, I'm just going to hold the wheel on, take that off, and pull the wheel off. Using a T50 socket, we're going to loosen this bolt. That's good. You don't have to take it out, just loosen it. Using a 24mm socket, take the nut off for the outer tie rod end. There's the nut. I'm going to use a front end tool to separate the tie rod from the knuckle. Just slide that in place. There's many different tools you could use to do this. Just let it sit for a sec. There we go. That popped. Slide that off. Just going to use some locking pliers on the inner tie rod right there. And then some locking pliers on the outer. And just loosen this up. And as you turn it, you want to count the threads, so that would be one turn, 21, 22, 27, 28, 28. So write that number down. I'm going to remove this clip, just use some hose clamp pliers. Slide that off. There's a clip on the inside of the boot. I'm just taking a pick and just trying to stretch out the clip. Just tapping the end of the clip with the hammer. The end of the pick. Once you stretch that out, grab the boot, just twist it back and forth. You should be able to pull it off. Might need a pick right there. Just going to use a pick to stretch this out a little bit. Just try to slide this off. Slide the boot right off. This is what the clip looks like. And what you're doing with the pick is going in there and just spreading that or even popping this apart. Just going to take a little grease, and right where the boot is going to sit, that's where you want to put the grease. That's good. On the inside, we're going to use a wire tie. Get that started instead of the clamp. Slide the boot over. Get the boot in that location right there. And slide the boot over the steering rack. It's kind of hard to see. All right, that's on. Slide the wire tie over where the steering rack is, and we'll tighten it down. Make sure that wire ties all the way around before you tighten it up completely. Looks good. And just trim the excess. All right, that's good. Take this clamp, Slide this in place. That's good there. Take the tie rod end. You want to get that started. Make sure you count the threads. So 1, 2, 3, 26, 27, and 28. Take the tie rod end, slide it into the knuckle, take the nut, get that started. You want to torque this nut to 124 foot-pounds. There we go. Installing the cotter pin, the hole does not line up with the castle nut, so we want to tighten it a little bit more. You never want to loosen the castle nut to be able to get the cotter pin in. Just tighten it just a smidge more until it lines up. Take the cotter pin, slide it through. Let's fold this over and just trim the excess. Tighten up the jam nut. We're going to torque this to 29 foot-pounds. Put the wheel on. Line it up. Get the studs, lug studs started. Snug those down. Now I'm going to torque the lug bolts to 90 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. Just go around again, double check. After finishing this installation, it's important to have an alignment done on your vehicle.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.